Hey everyone, my name is Jake. I am 26 years old and I am from Brazil. If we had met exactly 5 months ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation. 5 months ago, I could not speak a single full sentence in English. Not even a simple how are you, without hesitating, sweating, and translating in my head. I was completely lost. Today, I want to tell you the exact story of how I learned to speak fluent English in just 5 months. I did this without paying for any expensive classes, without traveling to an English speaking country, and without wasting my precious time on useless grammar rules that don't work in the real world. But listen to me carefully. This is not just my story. This is your story too. If you have ever felt frustrated, stuck, or embarrassed because of your English, if you have ever felt like you are smart in your native language but sound like a child in English, keep watching. Because I was exactly where you are right now. And I promise you, if you listen to my full journey step by step today, you will know exactly how to transform your English and your life. Before we dive into the method that changed my life, if you are serious about improving your English and want more inspiring stories like this, hit that subscribe button right now. Join our community and let's grow together. Ready? Let's go back to the beginning. Chapter 1. The day I became invisible. My journey did not start with motivation. It started with a humiliating failure, the kind of failure that keeps you awake at night. Since I was a teenager, I always had one massive dream. I wanted to work for an international company. My dream job was to be a senior software engineer at a giant tech company in the United States. I loved coding. I was genuinely good at it. I worked day and night, sacrificing my weekends to become the absolute best programmer I could be. Finally, after years of grinding, I got my golden ticket. I applied for a huge company in the US, and a week later, the recruiter emailed me, "Congratulations, Jake. You have been selected for a technical interview." I was on top of the world. I imagined my new life, moving to a new country, earning a massive salary, and working with the smartest people in the industry. But then, the interview happened. I remember it like it was yesterday. My hands were shaking. I opened Zoom, and there were 3 interviewers staring back at me. All of them were native English speakers. They smiled and started speaking. But to my ears, it felt like someone had pressed the fast forward button on their voices. The words blurred together. I could not catch anything. Then, the lead engineer asked the first question. "So, Jake, can you tell us a bit about yourself and walk us through your experience in complex software development?" I panicked. My brain completely froze. I knew the answer perfectly in my head in Portuguese, but the English words just refused to come out. My mouth was dry. I stuttered, yes. I am, software. I do coding. Many projects. Good. I am very good. Uh, I am. I. 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 They looked at me. The silence in that Zoom call felt like a sharp knife in my stomach. It was agonizing. They politely asked another, simpler question, but I couldn't answer that either. My confidence was shattered. In the end, one of them offered a sympathetic smile and said, "All right, Jake. Thank you so much for your time today." I knew exactly what that meant. The interview was over. I had failed. I did not lose that job because I was a bad programmer. I lost it because I could not speak English. That day, I learned a brutal lesson. English is not just a language, it is a key. It is the key to the doors of the world. And without that key, no matter how talented you are, you remain invisible. I closed my laptop and cried. I felt ashamed. I felt angry at myself. For years, I had made excuses. I told myself, I don't need English. I'll just be amazing at my technical job, and that will be enough. But I was lying to myself. That night, looking at my dark ceiling, I made a promise. I would learn English, and I would learn it fast. Chapter 2. The Trap of Traditional Learning. Most people, when they decide to learn English, do one thing first. They open their wallets, and pay for an expensive language course. I didn't do that. Why? Because I had already fallen into that trap a year ago. I had paid hundreds of dollars for an online English academy. The teacher made me memorize endless vocabulary lists. Monday was animals, Tuesday was furniture. I did hundreds of fill in the blank grammar exercises. I studied boring, strict rules about the past perfect continuous tense. But after 3 months of studying for hours every day, someone stopped me on the street to ask for directions. And I completely froze. I couldn't even say, go straight and turn left. I realized a hard truth. Traditional classes teach you how to pass a written test. They do not teach your mouth how to move. They do not teach your brain how to process spoken words in real time. If I wanted to learn English fast, I needed to completely destroy the old way of learning. I needed a system that worked for real life, not for a textbook. And that is when I developed my 5-month immersion method. I am going to share exactly what I did, month by month. Chapter 3. Month 1. The survival phase. The biggest mistake that beginners make is thinking they need more words. I used to think if I can just memorize 2000 words, I will be fluent. But the truth was, I already knew hundreds of words from school, movies, and the internet. Yet, I still couldn't speak. My problem wasn't a lack of words. My problem was that my brain didn't know how to connect them instantly. So, for the first 15 days, I banned myself from learning any new vocabulary. Instead, I did something much more powerful. I weaponized the words I already knew. Step 1. The survival list. I sat down with a blank piece of paper and asked myself, what do I actually need to say to survive a normal day? I wrote down 50 simple, highly practical sentences. Not Shakespeare. Real life. Hi, how's the day going? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that a little slower? I am currently learning English. Please bear with me. Could I get a large black coffee, please? What do you think about this? Every single morning, as soon as I woke up, I read these 50 sentences out loud. I didn't just read them with my eyes. I forced my mouth to produce the sounds. Not once, not twice, 10 times each. At first, my tongue felt heavy, thick, and slow. I stumbled over the words, but by day 5, muscle memory took over. Those sentences became automatic. Step 2. The private classroom, self-talk. This was the most embarrassing yet most powerful thing I did. I started narrating my life to myself in English. Whenever I was alone, I became a crazy person talking to the walls. When I was in the shower, I would say out loud, I am taking a shower right now. The water feels incredibly hot. I am washing my hair. I feel relaxed. When I made breakfast, I narrated like a cooking show. Now, I am cracking 2 eggs into the pan. I hear the oil sizzling. I love eggs for breakfast because they give me energy. At first, I felt ridiculous. But then I realized this was my private classroom. No one was listening. No one was judging my bad grammar. If I made a mistake, who cares? In just 2 weeks of doing this, something magical happened. The voice inside my head, my inner thoughts, slowly started switching from Portuguese to English. Step 3. The 5. Sentence deep dive. Every evening, I watched a TV show, like Friends or The Office. I picked just 5 short sentences that a character said. But I didn't just write them down. I became an actor. I copied the actor exactly. I matched their emotion, their speed, the way their voice went up or down. If they sounded angry, I yelled it angrily. This completely transformed my accent and made me stop sounding like a robot. By the end of month 1, I noticed a huge shift. I stopped translating in my head before speaking. The basic foundation was built. Now it was time to level up. Chapter 4. Month 2 and 3. The Q and A engine. I could say basic sentences, but I couldn't hold a conversation. If someone asked me a question, there was a long, awkward 5-second pause while my brain translated their English into Portuguese, formulated an answer in Portuguese, translated it back to English, and finally sent it to my mouth. I needed speed. I needed reflex. So, I invented the question-answer expansion method. Here is how you do it. You start with an incredibly basic question and you force yourself to answer it immediately, adding one more piece of detail every time. Example 1. Question: What did you do today? Answer 1 basic: I worked. Now, do it again, add detail. Answer 2. I worked on my coding project. Again, push harder. Answer 3. I worked on my coding project for 3 solid hours. Again. Answer 4. I worked on my coding project for 3 solid hours and then I took a 5-minute break. One more time. Answer 5. I worked on my coding project for 3 solid hours. Then I took a 5-minute break to grab a strong cup of coffee because I was exhausted. Example 2. Question: What did you eat for breakfast? Answer 1. I ate eggs. Answer 2. I ate eggs and burnt toast. Answer 3. I ate eggs, burnt toast, and a fresh banana. Answer 4. I ate eggs, burnt toast, and a fresh banana because I woke up incredibly hungry today. I did this for 30 minutes every single day, walking around my living room. Question, answer, expand. Question, answer, expand. Within 4 weeks, my brain was rewired. The delay was gone. I was pulling words from my memory instantly. My sentences were becoming long, descriptive, and colorful. To build my vocabulary during this time, I abandoned word lists. Instead, I used the story method. I picked 5 random new words a day. Let's say, excited, invitation, arrive, suddenly, surprise. Instead of memorizing definitions, I wrote a mini story. I was so excited to receive an invitation to the gala. When I finally arrived at the massive house, the lights suddenly turned off. It was a huge surprise party for me. I read that story out loud 10 times. Because the words were connected by emotion and context, my brain locked them in forever. In 3 months, I effortlessly absorbed over 1,000 new, advanced words. Chapter 5. Month 4. Smashing the Plateau. Month 4 is what I call the wall. Almost every English learner hits this wall. You understand a lot, you can speak reasonably well, but you feel stuck. You still sound a bit awkward. Your prepositions are a mess. You say in the bus instead of on the bus. You say I'm learning for 5 months instead of I have been learning for 5 months. I realized that just speaking wasn't enough anymore. I needed to refine my structure. I started paying intense attention to native speakers. I didn't just listen to what they were saying, I listened to how they built their sentences. Why did they use present perfect there? Why did they use that specific phrasal verb? I kept a tiny pocket notebook. Every time I heard a native speaker use a phrase differently than I would, I wrote it down. Instead of saying, I'm going to sleep, they said, I'm going to hit the sack. Instead of saying, I don't understand, they said, I'm not following you. I also started an English diary. Every night before bed, I wrote half a page about my day. At first, it was simple. Today was a good day. I went to work. I ate pizza. But then I challenged myself to write like an author. I read English blogs and articles, studied how writers connected paragraphs, and mimicked their style. My writing upgraded my speaking. But the ultimate weapon during month 4 was shadowing. I put on my headphones, played an English podcast, and I became the speaker's shadow. A split second after they spoke a word, I spoke it too. I tried to speak over them perfectly. If they paused, I paused. If they breathed, I breathed. Shadowing for 20 minutes a day is an absolute workout for your jaw and tongue muscles. It hurts, but it erased my thick foreign accent faster than any pronunciation coach ever could. Chapter 6. Month 5. The Ultimate Test. By month 5, I was speaking to myself fluently. My pronunciation was sharp, my vocabulary was vast, but I had been hiding in my bedroom. Now, it was time to face the final boss. Real native speakers. I was terrified. The trauma of my failed Zoom interview still haunted me. What if my mind went blank again? What if they laughed at my grammar? I decided I could not let fear win. To protect myself, I prepared a safety net. I wrote down the 10 most common conversation topics: hobbies, work, travel, food, weather, goals, movies, etc. I practiced answering every possible question about these topics until I was completely bulletproof. Then, I took a deep breath, went online, and joined a global language exchange video call. I logged in. There were people from the US, UK, Australia, and all over Europe. My heart was pounding against my ribs. Someone asked me, "So, Jake, where are you from and what do you do?" The moment of truth. I opened my mouth, and the words just flowed. I'm from Brazil, and I'm a software engineer. Actually, I've been working on a really fascinating AI project lately. I didn't stutter, I didn't translate, I just spoke. We talked for an hour, we laughed, we debated. People nodded at my points, they understood my jokes, they asked for my opinions. When I logged off that call, I sat back in my chair and stared at the screen. I had done it. I was no longer trapped in my native language. I had broken the chains. I was fluent. Chapter 7. The Redemption. Exactly 5 months and 2 weeks after my humiliating failure, I saw that the same American tech company had opened a new position for a senior software engineer. I updated my resume and applied again. A week later, I got the email. An interview invitation. This time, I was not the scared, invisible boy who hesitated and sweated. I was a man who had conquered his biggest insecurity. I opened the Zoom link. 2 of the interviewers were the exact same people from 5 months ago. They didn't remember me. They smiled. "Hi Jake, tell us about yourself." I looked straight into the camera, smiled back, and took control of the room. I spoke with absolute clarity. I explained complex coding architecture using advanced English vocabulary. When they asked difficult questions, I didn't freeze. I paused thoughtfully, said, "That's a fantastic question. Let me break down my approach," and delivered my answer flawlessly. I wasn't just surviving the interview, I was dominating it. I could see their eyes widen. They were genuinely impressed, not just by my technical skills, but by my confidence and communication. 2 days later, my phone rang. It was an international number. "Hello, Jake. We were absolutely blown away by your interview. We would love to offer you the position." Then, they told me the starting salary, $5,000 a month, plus bonuses, $5,000. That was more money in a month than I used to make in half a year. I dropped the phone. My hands were shaking. Tears streamed down my face. I immediately called my parents. "Mom, Dad, I got it. I got the job." My mother burst into tears of joy. My father, a hardworking man who almost never shows his emotions, his voice cracked as he said, "We never doubted you for a second, my son." When my first paycheck arrived, I didn't buy a car or fancy clothes. I took my parents to the nicest store in the city. I bought my father a beautiful, heavy silver watch, something he had stared at in shop windows for years, but never could afford. I bought my mother a stunning gold necklace. When I handed them the boxes, they tried to give them back. "Jake, no. Save your money. We don't need gifts." I held their hands and looked them in the eyes. "You sacrificed everything for me. You believed in me when I felt like a failure. This is not a gift. This is my thank you." In that beautiful moment, seeing my parents wear those gifts with so much pride, every single struggle made sense. Every early morning practicing sentences, every frustrating grammar mistake, every time I felt stupid talking to myself in the mirror, it was all worth it. Chapter 8. The Blueprint for Your Success. If you are listening to this right now, I want you to pay close attention. I'm going to give you the 7 unbreakable rules I learned from this journey. This is your blueprint. Rule 1. Mindset is your engine. If you believe you are bad at languages, you will always be bad. Stop saying English is hard. Start saying I am a learner and I am improving every single hour. You don't lack intelligence, you just lack the right system. Rule 2. Total immersion. You don't need to live in New York to surround yourself with English. Change your phone language right now. Watch YouTube only in English. Read the news in English. Create an English bubble inside your own house. Rule 3. Speak before you are ready. Perfectionism is the enemy of fluency. Do not wait until your grammar is perfect to start speaking. Native speakers do not care about your mistakes. They respect your courage. Speak broken English until it becomes fluent English. Rule 4. Shadowing is your secret weapon. Don't just listen passively. Become an echo. Mimic native speakers exactly as they talk. It is the fastest way to build muscle memory in your mouth and destroy your foreign accent. Rule 5. Context beats memorization. Throw away your vocabulary lists. Learn phrases, not single words. Don't learn the word decision. Learn the phrase, I need to make a tough decision. Your brain remembers stories, not isolated data. Rule 6. Grammar through absorption. Stop reading thick grammar books. Learn grammar by exposing yourself to thousands of correct sentences. When you read and listen constantly, your brain naturally figures out the rules. You will know what sounds right without needing to explain the rule. Rule 7. Consistency is the only magic pill. There is no shortcut. You cannot learn English by studying for 5 hours on Sunday and doing nothing the rest of the week. 30 minutes a day, every single day, is 100 times more powerful. Even when you are tired, even when you are busy, show up. Imagine yourself 6 months from exactly today. Imagine walking into a room and speaking English fluently, with total confidence. Imagine traveling the world, making friends from different cultures, and never feeling lost. Imagine getting that promotion, that dream job, that scholarship, just because you finally conquered this language. Imagine how proud you will feel looking in the mirror, knowing you didn't give up. That future is waiting for you. But it requires you to take action right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. It does not matter where you are starting from. It does not matter how many times you have failed in the past. What matters is what you choose to do the moment this video ends. The pain of discipline of studying for 30 minutes every day is temporary. But the pain of regret of looking back 5 years from now and wishing you had started today, that lasts forever. Choose discipline. Choose growth. Choose your future. Thank you so much for letting me share my story with you today. If this video gave you hope, if it sparked a fire inside you, please hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and share this video with a friend who is also fighting for their dreams. I will be right here making more videos, guiding you every step of the way. You are not alone in this journey. Start today. Never surrender. And I will see you in the next video.